You won't like hearing this, but healing doesn't look like a straight line. It looks like relapse, like bad days, like crying in the shower, like deleting and reinstalling social media 5 times in 1 week, like journaling and then ripping the pages apart because the truth felt too raw. But if you stay with yourself through it, if you keep showing up even when it's messy, even when it's ugly, one day you'll look in the mirror and realize you're someone you're proud of, not because life got easier, but because you got real. Real with your wants, real with your boundaries, real with your values, real with your pain. We spend so much time trying to be liked, we forget to be known. So let me ask you something. When was the last time you told the truth? Not to others, to yourself. When was the last time you admitted that you're scared, that you feel behind, that you're tired of pretending to have it all figured out? Because that honesty, that's where freedom begins. Not in perfection, not in control, but in raw, unfiltered truth. And the truth is, you're not lazy. You're probably overwhelmed. You're not broken. You're probably carrying weight that was never yours. You're not behind. You're just living life at your own pace. We all want shortcuts, hacks, fast results, but real change, it demands something more. It demands that we stop avoiding the parts of us we've labeled too much or too weak. You won't like hearing this, but the version of you you're waiting to become, they're already inside you. They're just buried under years of noise. So turn down the volume. Listen, not to me, to you. What is your body trying to say when it tightens up in certain rooms? What is your heart asking for when you feel restless at night? What part of your soul is starving? While you scroll and scroll and scroll, we weren't meant to live on autopilot. We weren't meant to survive our lives. We were meant to live them fully, loudly, imperfectly. I spent so long trying to be okay that I forgot what alive felt like. But you don't have to wait for a breakdown to begin your breakthrough. You don't have to hit rock bottom to rise. You just have to get honest enough to admit, this isn't it. This isn't who you want to be. This isn't how you want to feel. And that's not failure. That's a start. So here's what I hope you take from this. Your pain is not the enemy. It's a compass. It's pointing you toward the parts of your life that need your attention. Not your judgment, not your shame, just your attention. Sit with it. Ask it what it's trying to teach you. Because the things we avoid the most often hold the key to the peace we crave. And no, it won't be easy. There's no magic routine, no perfect mindset, no 3-step formula. But there is you, and that's enough. So the next time you feel like quitting, remember this. The fact that you're still here, still breathing, still trying, that's not weakness. That's proof you haven't given up on yourself, even if it feels like it some days. And maybe, just maybe, the life you want isn't waiting at the top of some mountain. Maybe it's right here in the mess, in the hard days, in the quiet wins no one claps for. You won't like hearing this, but you need to. You are already enough. Not when you're healed, not when you're perfect. Right now, in this moment, as you are. So stop waiting. Start returning to yourself, to what matters, to what's real. Because the version of you who's whole, they're not far away. They've just been waiting for you to stop running. What if I told you that the pain you're trying to avoid is exactly where the answers live? You won't like hearing this, but you need to, because I didn't like it either. When life whispered it to me for the first time, and then screamed it. Let me take you back to a night I never talk about. One of those quiet ones, the kind where nothing really happens, but somehow it changes everything. It was 2:37 a.m. I remember because I checked the time at least 6 times, hoping it would somehow move faster, hoping the weight in my chest would lift if I just stayed still enough. I was lying on the floor of my apartment, lights off, curtains open. The city was asleep, but my thoughts were loud. I had done everything I thought I was supposed to do, checked every box, graduated, got a job, made people proud, smiled when I didn't feel like smiling. And yet I felt like I was slowly disappearing, not in a dramatic way, more like erosion, tiny pieces of me fading every day, quietly enough that no one would notice, not even me, until that night. That night I felt it all at once, like a crash of waves I had been ignoring for too long, and I broke, quietly, the kind of break where there are no tears left, just silence, the kind of silence that makes you confront yourself. That's when the voice came in, not some divine revelation, just my own voice, the one I usually drown with noise. It said, "You're not tired, you're unaligned, you're not lost, you're avoiding, you're not broken, you're pretending," and I hated it. I wanted to scream back, Shut up, you don't know what I've been through. But it did. It knew everything. Every compromise. Every time I said yes when I meant no. Every time I shrank myself to be easier to love. Every time I ignored the ache because I thought pain meant I was doing something wrong. No one teaches you that sometimes pain is just the price of waking up. Let me be honest with you. I wasn't battling addiction or poverty or anything that might justify how empty I felt, and that made it worse. Because then the guilt kicks in. How dare you feel this way when others have it so much harder? But pain doesn't care about logic, it shows up anyway. And it showed up for me in the form of numbness. Waking up every day feeling nothing. Smiling at people but never really seeing. Them laughing at jokes that didn't land. Eating food that tasted like cardboard. Going through life like a ghost in my own body. People assume that sadness always looks like tears, but sometimes it's just silence. Long pauses, empty calendars, eyes that never really look up from the floor. And then one day I heard this quote, "People change for two reasons. Either they've learned enough that they want to, or they've heard enough that they have to." I was the second kind. I didn't wake up motivated. I woke up fed up, tired of the sound of my own excuses, tired of running in mental circles, tired of waiting for someone to save me when I hadn't even tried saving myself. So I started small, really small. The first thing I did, I made my bed, not to be productive, but because it was the only thing I could control that day. Then I went for a walk. No headphones, no phone, just me, my thoughts, and the sound of my own breath. And for the first time in weeks, I felt real again. Not healed, not better, just here. That's where it starts. Not in the big aha moments, not in the overnight changes, but in the quiet decision to stop abandoning yourself. People talk about self-love like it's this fluffy, pretty thing. But here's what they don't tell you. Sometimes, self-love feels like dragging yourself out of bed when everything hurts. Sometimes, it's canceling plans because you're not okay. Sometimes it's admitting you were wrong. Sometimes it's letting go of people who feel like home but burn you every time.